I just realized that this is probably not a great location, but I'm pulling double duty. I'm trying to update a video and also watching my kiddos at the same time. If you are new here, my name is Amanda and this is Little Troyer Farm. As you guys know, Sugar had her baby. So for those of you that have been waiting patiently or maybe very impatiently, it is so exciting that this little baby is finally here, and she is very, very adorable. Now, the last video, I'm sorry, I probably should have taken more time to get it out to you. I was just so excited to share it with you that I pieced it together as quick as I could and posted it. Now, with that being said, obviously, in an 18-minute video, you're never gonna get the full picture, which I'm sorry, I'm trying to do better and trying to piece together these stories in a way that makes sense to you, that accurately portray what's going on, trying to share the realness of stuff, but also like learning what the boundary is of what's too much. And so for the last video, I know a lot of you were concerned as far as this little baby's nursing. Yes, she seemed to have some issues with nursing. It took her a little bit longer than our first foal to figure it out. And in a lot of comments, I interacted with several of you that were very, very concerned, saying, please call a vet ASAP. She needs an IgG blood test. She needs probably intravenous IgG rich plasma. And that's a challenging discussion to have over writing, because you don't get to hear the tone of my voice. You don't get to hopefully hear my heart. And as we get into that, I wanted to preface it with one other thing. I will no longer be calling Sugar a rescue mare, especially in the YouTube titles, because that has been drawing in obviously some phenomenal people, but also some people that are assuming all of a sudden that we are a rescue. I want to clarify that we are not a rescue. We are a husband and a wife who love animals dearly. We seek to do right by them as best as we can. We seek to give them the best life possible. We are in no way, shape, or form a rescue. We came across a situation that some people needed help with some horses. They needed to be removed as they were no longer able to be cared for. Amongst that group was Sugar. So yes, they were posted through a rescue page. Yes, we've been calling her a rescue because in our opinion, she did need rescuing. When we picked her up, she was incredibly lame. She was incredibly sore. She could barely walk. Her hooves were so neglected and so unkept. And so we had our work cut out for us to try to even think about rehabilitating her, because we acknowledged that she was in a lot of pain. And there were some hard decisions that we had to make. We did take her to the veterinarian, and they gave us some advice. They did her ultrasound to confirm her pregnancy, because we figured, hey, if she's really close to having a foal, then let's let her finish out her pregnancy. Let's let her raise this foal, and it should give her enough time that if she is going to recover, that it will give her enough time to show us noticeable signs that she is taking steps in the right direction, that we are doing the right things. We have now had her for 6 months. And while we have kept up with her hoof care through trimming and corrective trimming and feed and all of those things, we are not seeing much change. So at this point, we are still uncertain. Right now, we are just enjoying the bliss of having this new life. And even though the pregnancy weight is off of Sugar, I think now is when we have seen the biggest change in just her comfort levels. We know that she is more comfortable without that baby weight on her. However, it is not like a switch got flipped and miraculously somehow she's completely better. She has a very, very long road to recover, if she ever recovers. So I just wanted to clarify some things as far as that front. We are not a rescue. And so that being said, I know that there's going to be some of you guys who disagree with some of the things that we do and decisions that we make. We do not have financial backers. We are paying for all of this out of pocket, And yes, okay, you're going to take animals on. You need to financially be prepared to care for them. And while, yes, I agree with that, but I think with every situation, unfortunately, there needs to be a line drawn. There needs to be some sort of boundary. Otherwise, it can get out of hand very, very quickly. We do not make these decisions lightly. We talk to our local veterinarians, we talk to professional farriers, people who have decades of horse experience. It is not like we are just willy-nilly making these decisions. So in regards to this little filly, who you will figure out what her name is in a little bit, I know there was many of you who were like, do the IgG testing. You know, she may need this plasma infusion. And yes, I know about that. I knew about that before any foals were born to us on our little farm. And the thing with this conversation, it's a sticky and a tricky one, because what you have to understand is the geographical location of where we are, for one. And another thing is that we are not a breeding barn. Number one, yes, sugar should have never been bred in the first place. It was not responsible of the previous owner, and we will stand by that. She should never have been bred because she was likely not even sound at the time of breeding. And anyways, I'm sorry if it's not coming out clearly. I am trying to communicate clearly, but sometimes my brain goes on all these different trails and then I have to circle back to what I'm trying to say. So when it comes to the case of this testing and this infusion, if she were to have needed it, I totally understand the concern that was raised. Yes, we were concerned. Keep in mind, a video never shows the whole story, unfortunately. But I had called our local veterinarian who lives there an hour plus from where we live. And I spoke to them with our last filly when she was born. And I said, hey, like, I've seen these other breeding barns do this. Do you do IgG testing for foals? And they said, unless you are a big time horse breeder and you are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on high quality breeding stock, they said, we really, really do not recommend it. Because number one, are you prepared that if those IgG levels are low, are you prepared to spend the thousands of dollars for the vet stay and the IV infusions that they're going to need to bring their IgG level up? So that was a conversation that I had had with our vet. And they went, we don't think that it's worth it. Now, how do you put the worth label on a life? And I know that that's going to be an argument as well. And again, not everybody's going to agree with this. And if you're still watching this and not having had fast forwarded the whole thing, I hope you try to understand our situation. I can almost guarantee that even some of the horse breeders in our area don't bother doing the IgG test. It's one of those things where either the foals do well and they thrive with as much care that we can give them. Past that, it is an element of nature take its course. And it sounds icky and it's sticky and it's hard for me to talk about because I'm maybe not one that loves confrontation. But the reality is that it's just not something that's commonly done around here. Not saying that that means that you shouldn't do it. I'm just saying that there are people with like 1 million followers who breed horses that are worth $250,000. Yes, they're going to do the IgG testing. Yes, they're going to do the infusions if they need to, because they have put sometimes tens of thousands of dollars into that foal before it even hits the ground. So yes, they're going to do the foal alerts. Yes, they're going to do the highest quality feed that they possibly can. Yes, they're going to do all of the vet check-ins and all of that stuff. But our life here, which is what I'm trying to explain, it's a very small farm. It's it's just us doing as best we can with what we have and talking to people with more wisdom than us, learning along the way. Yes, we're going to make mistakes, but it's just that. It's a small farm, and so there's going to be some realities that some people are not going to agree with. You are welcome to disagree with me, but Please don't expect us to, just because a viewer said do this, this, and this, that we're going to go now and do this, this, and this, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense to you. I'm not trying to sound callous. I'm just saying that in the rural area that we are in, that is the reality, that it is not like, oh, a foal hits the ground, okay, I'm paying the $400 travel fee to get the vet out here to do a blood draw, and if that doesn't go well, then okay, we're going to take that foal, drive it over an hour to the vet clinic, and they're going to stay there for 24 hours for infusions. That's just not the type of life that we live here. It is more of a pioneer, redneck, if you will, type of lifestyle, which is why it gets tricky to share that kind of stuff here online, because there are a lot of people that they're in a completely different game, a completely different ballpark, a completely different society and culture of what's normal. And so it gets tricky. This channel will never cater to everybody. It can't. We can't, because there are always going to be contradictory opinions. So I'm sorry, that was a really long-winded way of saying, let's go see this adorable little foal. Yeah, sugar, you know what time it is. Nay. First of all, your baby's hungry. Do you see her? She says, Mom, I'm hungry again. Can you get up so I can eat? Yeah. Say, Mama, get up. Come on, sugar. Come on, girl. Come on. You know. Mm-hmm. Oh.
trying to kick. She's trying to kick. She's trying to kick.
You're finding your spunk, little one.
What did you say, Mom?
She's finding her spunkiness.
She's trying not to kick.
Look at her little tail. Oh, she's not gonna like me touching it. Clamp it down. The little curls.
She's holding her phone.
She does have a, oh, is it an eel stripe? No, dorsal stripe. Here we go. She's trying to kick me. Doesn't like the tickles. She just says, I'm chowing down. Leave me alone. This little curly mane. This is so perfect.
Hers is perfect.
It is perfect, isn't it? She's so soft.
Well, and it's curly.
Also, the difference between a summer-born foal and an end-of-March-born foal. Her hide is so much more fine. Versus Jitterbug actually came out with a half-decent coat on her. Her milk chin. Look at you. My goodness.
Hey, Raven.
What's wrong with her?
Oh, you're gonna lay down right there, aren't you? finally get to introduce you to not this one, but this one, my husband Stan. And he gets the honors of naming this beautiful little girl. Thank you, Sugar, for the munchies. We can definitely hear a lot of things. So why don't you tell us the beautiful name that you've picked out for this little girl?
Well, we had Jitterbug earlier. This little girl's, I think, is gonna go red. And so, we'll pick the name Ladybug, or Lady.
So there you have it. We have a little ladybug on our hands. And Jitterbug, we've typically been calling her Jitters, Jitter, something along those lines. So if we shorten it to Lady, I think will be an adorable little name for her. We had lots of name suggestions, which I thought were super cute. Lots along the theme of sugar and candy and cinnamon, and oh, there's a whole bunch of other ones like Junebug and some along the bug, Doodlebug, lots of things like that. We appreciate all the suggestions, but we're pretty sold on little Ladybug. Oh, Sugar. You are giving us all the crunchies right now. Thank you for that. I'm sorry if you can't hear anything, but little ladybug, wow. Little Ladybug. And she is doing very, very well. She is nursing on her own. She is finding the teat without fail. And we think she's putting on some weight already. Obviously, they're pretty ribby when they're first newborn. Otherwise, it'd be a bit of a challenge to get a big, chunky, fat baby out. So it makes their job a little bit easier when they don't come out with tons of body fat on them. But she's doing well. She's gaining strength. Her legs may be a little bit crooked. So we're hoping to give them a few days and she is starting to straighten out already. So we will see how she does in that area. But nursing is going well for everybody who was waiting for an update and was feeling a little concerned. We are very excited that she is well past the 24-hour mark and doing really well. So thank you for all your feedback and advice and concern. We know that you all mean well, but she's doing well, and apparently we are just enjoying the munchies right above my head. So she just had a big nurse, and now she's tuckered out and having a nap. That's all they do, is eat and sleep and play a little bit, and then they sleep and eat and do it all over again. So we're excited to watch this little one grow.
This is the baby. See this? See, Mom, this is a baby.
Oh yeah?
And this one's a
Look
mom.
at it, it's smaller than this one.
And they're cooler colors.
Wow.
I call this one fast jumper because he fast jumps so fast.
You fast jump so fast. What'd you name yours? What's that one's name?
She got a wiggly.
A Wiggly.
Yeah.
For all you non-Canadian people, you're gonna be like, this means nothing to me. But to all you Canadians out there, happy Canada Day. It is July 1st, and I am going to grab Sugar some step 1 grain, and I'm gonna give her a little bit of some loving and some brushing, and take a look at that sweet little baby today on July 1st. Look at them go.
Oh, they swim so fast.
So fast.
We think they're their predator.
Yeah, you guys being gentle, right? You take
Yeah.
care of the little frogs. Actually, I think they might be toads.
Why?
Because they're all bumpy and warty like that. I think they're toads. We got dumped with a bunch of rain last night. Just a freak thunderstorm slash, like, it just poured rain. So everything, as it was just starting to dry off a little bit, is a mucky mess again. So doing some pen clean out again. So something that we have noticed that we're keeping an eye on are her front legs. You can't see it real well right now, but she is a little bit knock-kneed, and then those front hooves are pointing out, so she's a little pigeon-toed and knock-kneed. Let's see if I can show you from over here. Yes, you're adorable anyways. They are straightening out. They're a little bit straighter than yesterday. Hi, baby. Which is great. She's gaining strength, doing really well. The back legs, other than her pasterns being a little bit on the weaker side, they're not that bad. But her fronts are definitely a little on the splayed out side of things. And so I was chatting with a breeder. Oh, we're having a tinkle. I was trying to kneel down next to the baby and she keeps walking away. Hey, hold on, I want to say hi. So I was chatting with a breeder who, like, she's gonna just go butt in the face kind of thing. She was saying that with some small pen or small stall rest, that we should hopefully start seeing some improvement. What we want to do is we want to minimize the stress on those legs so that they have a better chance of straightening out. Something else that I wanted to add, which was crazy, so in my conversation with her, you'll remember from the clip at the beginning of the video where I was talking about how I don't think that any breeders, like horse breeders in our area, your baby's right here. I don't think that any breeders in our area are doing the IgG testing for their foals. And so I wanted to confirm that with you. Excuse you. Excuse you. Oh, excuse you. I wanted to confirm that information with her. And so I was talking to her and I said, hey, do you do IgG testing for your foals? And she said, no, I don't. Then I sent her pictures of her legs because I wanted some advice. She's been breeding horses for over 30 years, so I really respect her opinion. And she said, hey, I had a colt like that once, and we actually took him down south, so southern British Columbia, for surgery. And I was like, oh, crazy, like how much would that cost? And she's like, to be honest, the surgery costed less than what getting an IgG blood test and IgG rich plasma infusions would have costed. She does not do the blood tests, and she's a high quality breeder, and she does not do the IgG infusions because she says that because there's such a small window of time, a small time frame where you have to get them the plasma, we typically don't have any in the bank here, and there's usually a massive shortage when it comes to this IgG rich plasma. She said they ship it over from Ontario, which you have to keep in mind that there's British Columbia, and then we have Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and then Ontario is past that yet as well. That's a long way for that to travel. And you tell me, is that, once we know, hey, baby needs this, if that were the scenario, it would actually not get to us in time for it to be effective. So again, like, I appreciate most of you guys are just, you honestly want the best for this little filly, and there was some concern with her nursing and her appearing like a dummy foal, but I just wanted to share that with you, that is the reality of us living in a rural area where stuff like that and those type of interventions are not done. It is, even if it were to be done, it would cost thousands upon thousands of dollars, to the point where getting surgery for her legs, if it's needed, would be far cheaper than if you had a foal that needed this IgG rich plasma infusion. Just food for thought. I know all of you guys mean well, but it's also a little bit of a confirmation for me, knowing that we did the right thing, because it would have been absolutely pointless to have called a vet out. What we did was support her nursing, make sure that she was getting as much colostrum as possible. And yes, in the future, I will have foal specific bottles on hand in case we do need to milk out a mare and bottle feed the foal. But we are making sure that she was getting enough just through supporting her nursing from her mama. And we are really, really thankful that she is doing so well. But thank you so much for tuning in and watching this video today. I know there was a lot of chatting, but she is doing really well, and I hope that I can see you next time on the next video as she grows up.